is who I'm talking and listening to. So this really matters because people can make a huge impact on our lives. Discernment, I think discernment is very important. It's something that we all have within us. Are you being nice to me? Are you being mean to me? Are you being nice, nasty to me? Just more intentional of things like that. How I'm treating. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Macy. Hey guys, hey, what's up? How are you guys doing? Hope you all are doing well. So as you guys can tell down in the title of this video, today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some things that I will be doing to change my life, improve my life. So if you're interested in all I have to say, then just keep on watching. Okay, everyone, so if you watched my previous video, I did say that I made some poster boards about things that I've been doing to improve my life. So this is the video where I'm going to share with you everything. Now, if you want to duplicate this and add in your own personal goals, feel free to do that. I think that this is going to be helpful for not only me, but for you as well. So let's just go ahead and just dive right into it. So like I said, I have two poster boards here. I'll go through them with you and then end the video. Now, as I was thinking about how I can improve my life, how I can change like my thought processes and hopefully heal my anxieties and depression, because most of that stuff is stemmed over things that we can't change, as well as the way that we think. So I figure I would sit down and customize this. Now, I didn't get any of this stuff, all of it offline, except for the holistic approach. But I did sit down and figure out, how can I make myself a better person and then improve myself, not make, but just how can I change the way that I view things, I guess. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing that I feel like would be helpful for me is to start being more intentional. So that means being intentional about my time. How much time am I wasting on YouTube, Instagram, and people? Next thing is to be intentional about my energy. So sometimes people can really take a lot of your energy away. So I just want to be aware of, if Caden's teachers are taking up a lot of my energy because they're not listening to me, and then how can I go from there? My thoughts. So what am I telling myself? It's kind of like self-talk, which I'll get into that in the other slide. But what are my thoughts? Are they negative? Are they positive? Am I ruminating on things that don't matter? Am I ruminating on positivity? So what are my thoughts? Next thing is who I'm talking and listening to. So this really matters because people can make a huge impact on our lives, as well as a negative impact on our lives. So I really want to be cognizant of that. Discernment, I think discernment is very important. It's something that we all have within us. It's just that sometimes we may let certain people or situations hinder the discernment, but I definitely want to be more intentional about that. That could be situations that I'm in, people that I am introduced to, stuff like that, and how others treat me. So I want to be intentional about that. Are you being nice to me? Are you being mean to me? Are you being nice, nasty to me? Just more intentional of things like that, how I'm treated. What am I telling myself? Am I telling myself, Maynell, you are a loser, you're never going to make it in life, your business is not going to thrive? Or am I being more positive to myself? And these are things to be aware of. And then the last one is, what am I allowing? What am I accepting? Am I accepting the bare minimum from people? Am I accepting the goodness in people? Because sometimes we can overlook the goodness in people as well, like because we can just think that everything is so negative. The next thing is for my 3 lifestyle changes is to be in alignment with my assignment, right? So what is your purpose? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that right now. What is my purpose? And you want to align yourself with that, right? By staying on track so you can set goals for yourself, and then make small goals. I would definitely recommend making small, attainable ones, not big ones, because small steps are the best. Trusting the process in my business. So sometimes we can compare ourselves to others. We can look at others' success and not realize that we'll get there. It just might take a little bit more time. Take chances during my assignment, and in order to stay in alignment with my assignment, take chances. And to also step outside my comfort zone. My sister taught me that this week. And to limit distractions. So I think a lot of times we get distracted by our phones, social media, and all of that type of stuff. So I definitely want to limit the distractions. And I will definitely add more to these when I feel like I could benefit from some of that. But yeah, but just being in alignment. When I was on a live stream, I used a couple analogies that I think were amazing, and that was a car. So how many of you guys have a car and your car needed an alignment? And do you remember how bad it would drive? Like I remember like when my car needed to be aligned and tuned up, it would just go off to the side, and I would constantly have to move the car back into the road and keep it straight. So that's kind of like the way I looked at this when I thought about being in alignment. It's very important to be in alignment with your purpose. Same way with chiropractic care. Your chiropractor will, if you believe in that, and just kind of get your body back straight. If our body is, messed up or in a position that it's not supposed to be in, we'll definitely feel it. So as you can see, it's very important to be in alignment. The next step is to take a holistic approach to my overall well-being. And there are 8 dimensions when I looked online, but the 5 that I want to focus on is my physical health, emotional health, social health, spiritual health, and mental health. Okay, so those are the dimensions. So this is what I have. Now on this slide, I went into more detail about the 5 dimensions of my holistic well-being. So I'll go over these. So in life, we typically only hear about our mental health and we hear about our physical health, right? But I think that the main one that we always hear so much about is our mental health, right? But there are other dimensions of our health that we should be concerned about. And I'm going to go over mine. So the first one is the physical. Now, like I said, we hear a lot about physical health. And for me, that's going to include fitness, a 30-minute walk, nutrition, drinking more water, eating healthy. Now, I'm not a heavy water drinker, but I figured that I would start out with, if I can drink at least one of these a day, then I feel like I'll be definitely on the right track. I want to prioritize my sleep. Yeah, so prioritizing sleep is very important because I do get to bed pretty late, limit caffeine, vitamins, and then I have a 30-day commitment to the gym. So if anyone is wondering, the vitamins that I've been taking is the Zero Sugar Energy B12. I have a multivitamin that I take every day, and then I have a elderberry. So those are the 3 vitamins that I've been taking. And then the next one is emotional. I don't think that you hear a lot about emotional, but for me, it's to be mindful of my thoughts, kind of like the self-talk that I was talking about earlier. Emotional regulation, which is something that a lot of people probably should work on, because sometimes when we're in situations, our emotional regulation maturity really matters. And so when you see a lot of people that are kind of all over the place and, maybe they are doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, then it's a clear indication that they do not have emotional regulation skills, which is very important. Stress management, we all have stress, at least I know I do. And so I want to be aware of that. Positive thinking, journaling, and mindfulness. So these are things that you can do to incorporate and to help support your emotional health. Next one is social. So I have make one genuine connection. Now I already have a genuine connection, so I'm not really worried about that. And that's my best friend that I have in Texas. And then to talk to my family at least once a week. They're all busy and I'm busy as well, but I do want to prioritize like talking to them and speaking to them. Next up is my spiritual well-being. So I want to read 1 page of the Bible before bed every night. I want to make sure that I continue to pray, give back, stay hopeful, and to practice gratitude. Gratitude is very important because sometimes we forget to be appreciative of the small things that we have in life. And I want to always make sure that I'm humbled and grounded in the blessings that I have. And then next up is the mental that we all know about. So that would be therapy, listening to positive podcasts, mindfulness, prioritize my well-being and what's best for me, distance, and reading. Okay, so these are the things that I want to work on. So what happens is that when I start working on all of these things, then you improve the overall person, right? Because what happens if you are prioritizing your mental health? You know, say you're going to therapy and you're really going hard on that, but then you're eating junk food, you're eating cakes at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're eating cookies, and your physical health is suffering. So see, you're not really taking care of your whole self. Or say for an example, you know, you're focused on going to the gym and your physical health, but then you don't really have good emotional regulation skills. So it kind of makes the person off balance. So see why I feel like that all of these are very important to have, because if you look at all of these, this makes up the human being. This is the human experience right here. Okay, so that's why I feel like this is important. And it's so funny because I follow this doctor from the UK and she does content. Her name is Dr. Bex, and she just graduated medical school in the UK from Bristol. And her and I are around the same age, and she's actually getting ready to migrate to Australia. And the reason why she said that she wanted to be a doctor in the UK, in Australia versus the UK is because she said that she wanted to take a holistic approach with her patients. And being a doctor in the UK, I guess it won't necessarily allow that because it's so busy. And so if you can find a doctor that takes a holistic approach in your overall well-being, I think that it's amazing if you can do that, because they're not only, you know, treating your mental health, but they're also looking at all aspects of you as a person. So I hope that, you know, this kind of explains a little bit about where I am and what I'm doing. And hopefully this can help someone else out there as well. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.